Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I'm going to show you how to add a blog post to your WordPress website. Now, what I have pulled up here on the screen is actually one of our Ballen real estate websites. We call it the Brew, and we have categories, our blog categories, organized in a certain way. So on our websites here that we build for real estate agents, we have a buying category, a selling category, and a lifestyle category. Now, if you have a standard WordPress website and you just have basically a blog link that just has all the blogs, that's okay too. This video is still going to work just fine for you. But if you're one of our real estate clients, then you're able to see here how to properly post your blog in the category in which you're trying to post. So this is a homepage. Again, this is one of our themes that we offer for our real estate websites. And on the homepage, if you scroll down, we've got a particular section called From the Blog. And you'll see here they're kind of organized. Now this has the category, lifestyle, selling, so it shows the category that we have set up. But basically this is set to just display the latest blog post from the website on the homepage. It doesn't really matter what category it's in. So this is just an example of where they're going to show up on the homepage. Now, sometimes we go and we'll add a blog post in the admin and we go to the website and we're like, well, where is it? Where does it show up? And usually if that's the case, it's just because we haven't categorized it in a particular manner. So I'm going to walk you through how we set these up here. So if I click on the buying tab, this is actually a category page. It's a blog category page. So any blogs that are put in the buying category will show up automatically on this page when they're published. There's nothing more you need to do. You don't have to go add links or navigation, anything like that. So if I click here on selling, then the selling related blogs would show up in this particular category. And then lifestyle is another one we have that would put anything that's related more to the community or the actual geographic location, not so much whether you're a buyer or seller. So that's how we have these organized. So I'm going to show you now how we add those. So if I go here, I'm already logged into the WordPress dashboard. So I'm going to click on dashboard here and we're pulled up. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add a new post. Okay, so when I click on add new post, it's going to pull up basically my page here. And this is your standard WordPress Gutenberg interface. Okay, that's 5.0 or later, WordPress 5.0 later. And we can add a title and then we can start to put the content in here. Now, whether you use a tool like Elementor, like we do when we install our WordPress websites, we use the Elementor Design Builder. So you can use that as well. It doesn't really change the purpose of this video, which is just to show you how to publish a blog and put it in the right category. This is really more, it's universal that way. But if you wanted to do more design features and add in additional things, you can also trigger the Elementor feature. But if you're just doing a standard blog that just has content, paragraphs and some headers, you don't really need to do any design builder extra features there. Okay, so we're just going to stick right here in this particular example. So we're going to put how to buy a home. Okay, just something very generic here. I'm not going to put in a lot of actual content. We're just going to publish it and take it off. But so we have a title, how to buy a home. And then basically here we're going to put in the content. This is how we buy a home. Follow these simple steps. Okay. So now I have that there. I can put another title. I can do like step 1, do a search online. Okay. And then maybe after that, I can say, look for reputable real estate websites to find your next home. Okay. Obviously, I would elaborate much more on that, but I just want to show you an example of what we're going to do. So I can actually take this, I can make it a heading instead, which we like to do that for search engine purposes. So let's say I'm going to do that as a heading, then I have this, and then now maybe I'm going to go to step 2. Step 2, sign up for home searches, or sign up for a saved home search. Okay, something like that. All right, and then we would have, this is a critical step to see all homes available when, or all homes when they become available for sale, for example. Okay, and again, we'd elaborate a lot more on that. So I can go here, I can change this again to a heading so that we have the proper organization. Okay, so basically this is the content, right? This is the page. I could build this in like a WordPress, I'm sorry, in a like a Word document or something like that and copy and paste it in here. But the point is this is the content on our page. Now, what we also need to do is we need to pay attention to the actual settings of the page. So I'm going to pull up, let's go back here. And if I look at whether either these ones that show up on the home page, the from the blog, so you see how there's a graphic here, and then we have, you know, a title, and then we have a description, right? And then the continue reading. Same thing here when I go to like buying, right? We have a graphic, we have a title, and we have a description. So all of those are actually set from this particular page that we're in now. So I'm going to go back here. And if I click on post, so block means these are the settings that are available here in each of the different blocks, content blocks that I've done. But if I click on post, you're going to start to see the things specific to the post itself. Okay, so right here we have status and visibility. Now we have an option to stick to the top of the blog. So what this does, it means instead of just being organized in the most recently posted, we can make sure like this one's the first one on the page and then everything else would show up below it. So that's one option. There's other things like pending review, so like we could set those up if we have editors on staff or we have multiple people. That's what those things are for. Who the author is would typically just be your name if you're the only user in the account. And then we go down to things like this. We could choose which template it goes on. Well, typically we want the blogs to match the rest of the website, so we're going to leave that on the default template. We have what's called the permalink. So that's actually the link that's going to, you know, what is the actual link for someone to get to that page. Now, when we set up Brew websites, again, this is our theme, so we don't have it configured quite that same way for our demo site here. But when we set up customer websites, we usually change the permalink to automatically default to the actual title. So in this case, it'd be how to buy a home. If you wanted to change this, then you can actually change that permalink description, things like that, if we want to go that route. Not the purpose of this particular video here. But here, under categories, this is really what we're looking at here. So we have categories set up for buying, lifestyle, real estate market reports, selling, and then there's an uncategorized as well. So the idea here is that if I want this to show up in the buying category to buyers that are coming to the page, I'm going to go ahead and just select that box. If you don't select anything, well then there's nothing telling the system where to put it, which is why it might not show up on your website. So in this case, we want to make sure we select that right category. Then you have things like tags. If you utilize tags, that would usually be if you have like a lot of different, like a lot of blog content. If you're doing one blog a week and, you know, maybe you just started the website, tags might be a little too much right now because we're not really organized, we don't have enough, but we already organize them in buyer, seller, lifestyle. If you didn't use categories, you could use tags instead as another option, because if they clicked on that tag, then any of the blogs that are related to that particular tag or have that tag assigned would pull up. So it's another way to navigate and organize blogs. Featured image, now this is what we're setting. So you could have many images within your blog content itself, but you still have to choose one that you want to show up as the dominant image. So you see how we have this image here, mortgage loan agreement with the gold key. Well, if I actually click on the blog itself, you don't actually see that image until just a little bit further down on this particular blog post, but you don't see this one, you don't see this one, right? You see one that we specifically assign to be the main featured image that shows up. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to click here to set featured image. If you already have one in here that you can pull from, that's great. If you don't, you can just simply upload it. Same way any of the media works in there. So we're just going to go ahead and just take a picture of a home. We're going to set that as the featured image. All right, then we have what's called the excerpt. So the excerpt is actually what shows up as, click here, this. This is your excerpt. Now, if you don't actually write an excerpt, it'll take basically the beginning content. So it would actually take more of this. This is how we buy a home, right? And it would just automatically put in some of those details. But we want to sell this a little bit better, right? Like we don't say on this particular page, here are 6 great steps, blah, 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 to do this and that. Like we're not really selling the article. So it is a good idea under post to, do this excerpt option, say, learn how to buy a home by following these simple steps. right? So it's just something like that. It can be a little more elaborate, but we don't want it to be too long because they show up on the page in a certain order as well. All right. Then we have discussion. This is if you're allowing comments or not. We don't recommend really comments at this point on websites, more because it just gets a lot of spam, and we don't find that people, if it's not on social media or something like that, we don't get a lot of interaction. So really just understand your audience. Not a lot of, in this case, if I'm talking about real estate customers, not a lot of buyers and sellers are commenting on blog posts. So we usually keep that turned off just to reduce spam or anything else like that. So now that I have those done, I can go ahead and hit publish. And now I can go back to my buying page. I'm going to reload the page. And now you'll see, here we go. We've got one new article, how to buy a home, learn how to buy by following these simple steps. Again, I can elaborate more on that. Click continue reading. Now I've got the actual content. It's automatically going to show up in our case, because we have it set up to show the latest blog post. If I go to the home page, then I can scroll down here from the blog and you'll see it's there too. So all I did was created a new page of content and a new blog post, right? Put it in a particular category, and now it's updating anywhere on the website. Now, if I were to take away the fact that it's in the, let's go back here. Let's go back. All right, so I'm going to change, if I go back to posts, all posts, how to buy a home, and I'm going to edit that. If I take it out of the buying category, just want to show you how this plays out for us. Oops. Here we go. So categories, take it out of buying and hit publish. Oops, I zoomed in on my page here. Let's go here. Okay, so update. So now I updated that. So now if I go back, if I go to the buying category, you'll see it's gone off the buying category. If I go to the home page, pull this up here. Okay, still there, right? But by default, it's uncategorized. I haven't put it anywhere, so it's not technically in the uncategorized category. It's saying it's uncategorized. And so it still shows up here because it is a published and live blog post. It's just not in the buying category, okay? So if I click on another one, things to do in Ballentown, again, you'll see it here still because this is designed to just show the latest live blog post. Doesn't matter what category it's in or whether it's in a category. This just shows it there. So that's how that all works. Just wanted to kind of explain that. We get a lot of questions on, oh, I just published a blog, but I don't see it, or I want the blog to show up here and not there. So that's how this all works together. Okay, pretty simple actually once you understand the dynamics, and a really helpful and useful feature because you really just need to update it in one spot, click a certain checkbox, and it now adds it into all the appropriate locations. So again, just a quick review. This is our brew websites, how to post a blog. If you're not doing a real estate website, it doesn't really matter, right? You have different categories, or if you just have one particular blog link that has all of your blogs in it, it's all the same, okay? It's all based on categories and where we have it configured to show those particular categories. So if you have any questions on that or anything else WordPress related or real estate related, anything like that we can help with, we're always here and happy to help. You can email us at team@ballenbrands.com.